It looked like Baltimore's Ravens defensive coordinator is making a schematic plan to possibly see Shedeur if the Browns decide. Baltimore Ravens, man. People talking about tickets dropping as low as to $6 now for a get-in price for this game. Now, I was going to make a separate video about it, but I'm proud of everybody in Browns Nation. Because you want to know why? Because people speaking.
And in the middle of the meltdown stands one quiet name everyone else seems to believe in, except the people running the team. Shedeur Sanders. Baltimore sees it. Their defensive coordinator, Zach Orr, sees it. The entire AFC North sees it. Even the ticket scalpers on the corner see it. But Cleveland, they're pretending the fire alarm isn't blaring while the walls burn down around them. Stefanski keeps going on camera saying Dillon is the starter, Dillon is the guy, Dillon is the future. That's cute, but even Baltimore didn't bother pretending to believe that.
Y'all doing all right? All right, man. It's good. Good to see y'all. Shoot, man. He's a physical player. He plays hard. Love his versatility, man. I mean, he came in as an interior guy. I think that, his ability to really kick out on the edge and continue to hold his power and show his athleticism is a testament to his hard work. But I love his versatility, man, in the run game and the pass game. A guy who can play across the line of scrimmage for us, so I'm excited to see him Sunday. He's had a great couple days.
When Zach Orr was asked whether the Ravens were spending time preparing for Shedeur, he didn't hesitate, he didn't stutter, he didn't dance around it. He basically said, "We're preparing for him regardless." Translation: the Browns can say whatever they want, but the Ravens are preparing for the quarterback who can hurt them, not the one who can barely move the offense.
Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, ain't tripping off Kevin Stefanski. Because he know big business too. Really ain't up to him. You can say Dillon is finna play. You can say all these things, but at the end of the day, y'all want to know what's Jimmy Haslam. So they prepared for Shedeur regardless. It says Ravens defensive coordinator Zach Orr was asked if Baltimore is spending any time preparing.
And the fact that Baltimore is taking Shedeur more seriously than Cleveland is exactly why this entire mess has spiraled into something bigger than a simple quarterback controversy. Because while Stefanski keeps doubling down on Dillon like a poker player who refuses to fold a losing hand, Jimmy Haslam is staring at empty seats and watching revenue disappear faster than the Browns' playoff hopes. Fans aren't buying tickets. They aren't buying merch. They aren't buying excuses. They're speaking with their wallets. And the message is loud enough to rattle windows. They want Shedeur on that field. And the moment money gets involved, you can feel the shift.
A lot of people will say this too, like the Browns have historically rushed rookie quarterbacks onto the field before they're ready. Ruin them. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Like, what quarterback are we going to ruin next year and all this kind of stuff. The difference this year for me is that this season is gone. It's lost. And you already know that the first rookie you tried to put out there is clearly not it. And it's not even a matter of him not being ready. I just don't think he's capable, period. There's no amount of time, practice, experience that's going to suddenly make him capable. We need to see if Shedeur is, because we've got those 2 first-round picks next year.
Owners don't tolerate losing money. They tolerate losing games. They tolerate bad coaching calls. They tolerate chaos. But revenue? That's the one thing that changes everything. Haslam is watching the numbers dip like a stock crash. Calculator in hand, stomach acid brewing, probably whispering, "We paid how much for a quarterback we won't even use." Meanwhile, the media is now fully locked in on the insanity. ESPN Cleveland straight up admitted they can't figure out why the Browns would draft Shedeur, deal with the spotlight, handle the pressure, and then refuse to play him. It's like buying a Ferrari and keeping it in the garage because you like the way it looks next to the lawnmower. Every analyst is confused. Every reporter is confused. Every fan is confused. And what makes it worse is the Browns have a long history of burning through rookie quarterbacks. But this time is different. This time, the season is already lost. There's no momentum to protect, nothing to risk, nothing to ruin. You already know Dillon isn't the answer.
Yeah, I know we go to them. They have to talk about.
Do you think Shedeur has a chance to play Sunday?
No. I can't figure out this. Why would you draft him and welcome in the circus, not even always his fault, that comes with him, only to not play him? Like, what? Only the Browns would do this.
Take the negatives
and none
Shedeur
of the positive.
and none of the positive.
Those are facts, man, and they damn sure making it.
You already know the offense is stuck in mud. You already know the season is slipping faster than anyone wants to admit. So why not play Shedeur? The locker room feels it. You can sense it in every interview, every frustrated sideline look, every player comment that sounds calm but carries that "we know what the real issue is" tone. This team is tired. They're drained. They're doing everything they can while the organization keeps pretending there isn't a simple solution sitting on the bench wearing a headset he should have taken off weeks ago. And the Ravens? Oh, they aren't just preparing for Shedeur. They're coming off a week where their defense played soft, got embarrassed, and left points on the board that cost them the game. Zach Orr is coaching for his job. The Ravens are hunting for a bounce-back statement, and nothing makes a defensive coordinator sharper than fear of losing his headset next. That's why Baltimore is preparing for the quarterback who actually threatens them.
Zach Jackson and him and everybody else that we talked to have said that Shedeur looks good. He looks really good.
Yes.
He looks better. And we got Zach that say Dillon Gabriel ain't even an NFL quarterback.
That's true.
So how is it that this man can't get a rep with the one, but that non-NFL quarterback can?
We all
what
agree with
sense
that.
does that make?
It makes no sense.
Clearly, the guys running the team disagree with us.
Man,
it doesn't make any
and they're
sense.
the ones.
I don't. What are y'all trying to? What is the goal?
Shedeur, not the one Cleveland claims they believe in. Meanwhile, Stefanski is giving interviews that sound like a man trying to convince himself he still has control while the organization moves around him like he's invisible. He keeps saying he's focused on Dillon, focused on the plan, focused on the development, focused on anything except the giant blinking sign reality is holding over his head. The fans want Shedeur. The league expects Shedeur. Even the Ravens want Shedeur so they can prepare properly. But Cleveland, they're still trying to make Dillon happen like a failed reality show nobody wants renewed, and that's where everything turns. Because now the conversation isn't just, why isn't Shedeur playing? It's, why are the Browns so scared to play him? No one's saying he'll be perfect. No one's saying he'll be a superstar day one.
Zach Orr, defensive coordinator, his seat is hot right now. It was hot a little bit last year. They started the season real rough. He got it together at the end of the season. Zach Orr, former drafted linebacker, either my year or year after me. Very familiar with him as a player, now turned coach. But the defense got way too soft. Way too many zone coverages. Just allowing Josh Allen to pick you apart and march down the field. Remember, them 3 points right before the end of the first half, you think that mattered, Ravens? Absolutely did, because now you ended up losing by 1 point. So, in my mind, if you're the Ravens, you have to be embarrassed.
And instead of letting him play, this coaching staff is treating Shedeur like radioactive material. Backup quarterbacks usually get limited reps during the week, but reports claim the Browns deliberately don't want Shedeur getting stuck in that role. So instead of promoting him or preparing him, they're putting him in quarterback purgatory, close enough to the building to take blame, far enough to never change it. And the crazy thing, it's starting to feel personal. Because if the season is already cooked and your so-called QB1 looks overwhelmed, why not try the guy with actual upside? Why avoid giving him reps? Why ignore the obvious? Even analysts who don't think Shedeur will be a star still admit the Browns' refusal to play him is bizarre. Some think the coaching staff wants to protect him. Others think they're trying to prove their pick, Dillon, was the right one. Rumors suggest there might even be tension behind the scenes. But whatever the reason, one thing is clear. The Browns have boxed themselves into a corner. And while they play this weird waiting game, Shedeur stands there like the unopened gift under the Christmas tree. The kid everyone wants to see. The kid with the potential to inject life back into a fan base that's running on fumes. The kid who could save this season or at least give it meaning.
Drafted Shedeur Sanders. They are unwilling, clearly, to allow Shedeur Sanders to man the offense in a real NFL game. Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm not concentrating on the current development of Shedeur Sanders. I'm worried about what we're worried about. I'm now convinced that we need to do a deeper dive investigation into why they are so reluctant to give the kid a shot. I don't know that it's going to be any good. I think there's as good a chance that he stinks as that.
But instead, he waits, watching, preparing, sitting silently while the entire city wonders when the moment will come. And eventually, it will. Because seasons like this don't stay quiet. The pressure builds, the criticism grows, the fans get louder, the empty seats get more embarrassing, and the owner eventually steps in. When the scoreboard looks bad, the stadium looks worse, and the revenue hits rock bottom, decisions get made that no coach can stop. The timing is predictable. One more bad game, One more offensive meltdown. One more loss that feels like a funeral. And the call becomes unavoidable. Put in Shedeur. Not for hype, not for mercy, not for a miracle. But because at this point, he is the only move left.
Drafted Shedeur Sanders. They are unwilling, clearly, to allow Shedeur Sanders to man the offense in a real NFL game. Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm not concentrating on the current development of Shedeur Sanders. I'm worried about what we're worried about. I'm now convinced that we need to do a deeper dive investigation into why they are so reluctant to give the kid a shot. I don't know that it's going to be any good. I think there's as good a chance that he stinks as that he's...
And Baltimore knows it. Zach Orr is smiling because whether it's Dillon or Shedeur, he's prepared. He's got the film. He's got the game plan. He's got the pressure. He knows the Browns are in chaos, and teams feast on chaos. Meanwhile, the Browns are treating the quarterback situation like a mystery novel, where even the author forgot the ending. Endless questions, zero answers, and every chapter ends with the same cliffhanger. Why won't they play him? Some players want to know, some analysts want to know. Even hot dog vendors in the stadium want to know, because it's clear, it's obvious, it's undeniable. The Browns can't win another game this season without trying something new, and Shedeur is the only something new they have left. Nobody's rooting against Dillon. This isn't about him. This is about a franchise refusing to admit the sky is falling until the roof caves in on their heads. And everyone is watching Cleveland spiral like a sitcom, where the characters never learn anything and every episode ends with the same question. How did we get here again? Eventually, someone in power will break. An owner, a GM, a coordinator. Someone will say enough is enough.
I think that they recognize if they made him the number 2 quarterback, then they would be setting him up to fail. Because, as you guys know, the number 2 quarterback gets almost no reps during the week. And that's especially the case if the starter is a rookie. They're trying to get Dillon Gabriel prepared to play in the game. They're trying to have him see every rep and every look he's going to see during the week of practice this week. So the backup has to be a guy that can function.
And when that moment happens, the league will finally see what Shedeur Sanders actually is. A spark, a risk, an unknown, a possibility. Maybe he's great. Maybe he struggles. Maybe he becomes the next franchise face, or maybe he becomes trade bait for more picks. Nobody knows, because he hasn't played. But the one thing every fan agrees on is simple. You don't draft the son of Dillon Sanders, ride the wave of hype, ignite an entire fan base, and then bury him behind a quarterback who looks overwhelmed every Sunday. Not when your season is already drifting off a cliff. Not when your rivals are preparing for him more seriously than you are. Not when your fan base is revolting. Not when your owner is steaming. Not when your media is begging for answers. And not when the entire NFL world is staring at you like a science experiment gone wrong. The Browns drafted Shedeur. They hyped Shedeur. They promoted Shedeur. And now they're terrified to play him. But the funny thing about inevitability is that it always arrives. Whether Stefanski wants it or not, Shedeur will get on that field. Maybe after another embarrassing loss.